Hello guys, and welcome to a new Wargame video today by me, Vulcan. Today I have for you a 3 versus 3 on Hop and Glory. Pretty standard map, and in this one I'm going to be using my Dutch-German deck again, but this is a new and improved version as opposed to the one that I played a couple of videos ago. So yeah, this time hopefully things will go a bit better for me in terms of having the units that I actually would like. Now this is a pretty short game, but honestly I didn't have particularly too much time to record this, so this was a game that I thought was very fun, showed a very unique strategy, and therefore wanted to show it to you guys. And it kind of worked out that because it was short, it was helpful as well. So let's just go through our sort of strategy. I'm playing today with Val and Bets, and yeah, I'm using my Dutch-German deck. So I've got plenty of looks at the start. As you can see, I've got these YPR 76525s with the auto cannons, and they also have the Stuttruppen in them. Then I've got them covered by the Flak Panzer Gepard. I've also got another one there. What else have I got? I've got a Dornier 205 with command infantry for Charlie, and then I also have a Part 2 Tiger. This recon helicopter has been doing very well for me lately. I don't know why, but it's just a very versatile helicopter that can come in useful in certain situations. So yeah, our game plan, myself and Val decided to make a push for Foxtrot from Alpha. So we're going to push for their 2-point sector at the start. And the way that we're going to do that is, the reason I'm bringing in Fuchs is because they're very fast. So they're wheeled, also the looks are wheeled as well. And what we're going to do is move up here, and they are also amphibious, so we're going to go straight across this river, straight into Foxtrot. That's the plan, and that's what we were hoping would work out. Now this is a legitimate strategy in terms of when we, last year when we were seeing the VulcanHDGaming Invitational, some people did actually try to go from like the red side to Delta. That's genuinely like quite a big strategy that can be pulled off if the enemy is not expecting it. You can also do it with like fast helicopter drops. So if you have like quite a lot of helicopter born infantry in your deck, what you can do is like just go for a quick heli drop into the 2-point sector, try and take control of this town, or maybe the town in Delta if you're on the other side of the map, and you know, take control of it in that way. Otherwise, normally what happens is there's either a skirmish between Golf and Charlie, or between Echo and Juliet, or maybe it gets a bit skewed either way. So maybe between Delta and Echo, and between maybe Golf and Foxtrot if the blue side does get control of Golf, which doesn't actually tend to happen too much, although the reinforcement point is quite far away from Golf, which does give blue side pressure onto that sector. Either way, the game is underway, and as you can see, I'm joined by Val's Israeli deck by the looks of things. And Bets, I believe, was using a very strange Norwegian deck. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, it was definitely unconventional to say the least. And it was very interesting to see how much progress he actually made with that deck. So already at the start of the game, we're hitting a +2 lead because we managed to capture Bravo before the enemy team. But here you can see my wheeled units breaking off to the left side. The convoy of Lux and Fuchs heading towards this river to cross in the center. So the Seyfan moving up to provide some recon for us. I have my Part 2 Tiger here. I'm going to try and maybe use the infrared to shoot down the MI2 road just so they can't see this coming, because we are pretty worried about what we are starting to see. So we have got a T-72S as a T-72M2 Wilk. A couple of those. There is a Sapel there as well, which is going to shoot down the Seyfan. A third M2 Wilk, a Strzelecz 10M, and a recon vehicle. So if we get caught out in the open, they're going to do an absolute ton of damage to us. So Ka-52 is going to come and destroy one of my Gepards over on this left side, which I was going to try and use to cover this advance against helicopters. But yeah, the Ka-52 destroys that with its anti-radar missile. Flak Panzer this time though gets that and destroys it. So here come my Luxes and Fuchses, and well, a couple of my Fuchs already been destroyed. Most of my Fallschirmjäger dying upon the advance, and well, the Lux doesn't last long either. So these tanks have absolutely decimated the majority of my push, but here come the YPR 765s. These are my Dutch APCs with my Dutch infantry. The Zeldas being Val's Israeli forces, and well, we're going to destroy his recon unit there. And the Fallschirmjäger still holding strong in this town, not dying completely just yet. Gurnas does come in and take out one of the T-72M2 Wilks for us. Thank you, Val. It's now T-72S getting dangerously close to my Fallschirmjäger, and boom. There goes a T-72S, courtesy of those Fallschirmjäger 90, which do have the 70% accuracy and 24 AP power on that AT weapon, which is fantastic. So I've managed to unload all of my APCs here. We're making a run for the town, and if we can take advantage of this, then we will have a very strong point throughout the rest of this game. We'll get a massive lead from this. Some more tanks coming over from the right this time. T-72B1, T-72BU. We've got a couple of BTR 90s. They're going to be heading for this town, possibly to try and cut off our reinforcements. Over on this right side, we pretty much had nothing. I brought in some Milan 2s just to cover the right side of the town, and then I brought over my Fuchs Milans to cover over in the open. So now you can see my YPRs trying to hit the tanks as they retreat, try and take out that Strzelca 10M, but to no avail. F-16 does actually shoot down an enemy aircraft. These MiG-29s, they probably could have come onto the Block 15 OCU here, but they didn't, and therefore we managed to get away with the strike onto the T-72BU. So that's got a stabilization malfunction, but they still managed to destroy my Flak Panzer Gepard. In the meantime, over on this left side, Betz is moving up with his Leopard 1NOs. So I think it was like a 1980s like Norwegian armored deck or something silly. So yeah, he was really just going to be spamming the Leopards. He had plenty of Stormingenieur and also the Stormers there as well. Looks like this BTR ATA was trying to make a cheeky advance towards Charlie, but Val's got me covered with the Yasu of Nimrod. Can do a lot of damage to tanks out in the open. One of the Laciers does get blown up by that T-72. And it looks like the second one's going to get popped as well. So that's both of Val's mortars down. These Drakon missiles are trying to take out the Su-7B before they get bombed. And well, they managed to survive that bombing strike, which does allow us to maintain our AA net for a little bit longer in Foxtrot. We've definitely got a good position here though. As you can see, we are now placing our infantry on the edge of the town, just so that we can almost use our infantry as recon. I mean, if we had normal recon here, what you can do is you can have like the recon in this hedge, for example, if it was just like a two-man stealth squad, and then you can have the infantry like one step back. So if they try and bomb the edge of the town here, you can just avoid that without having to dodge it. And then whenever they actually come in for an attack, you just jump them back to the front line. So these two Leopard 1NOs have actually made an incredible amount of progress. They've come up against Granatamat AGS squads. But honestly, they're not really stopping them. And this KHS Mi-24P with its Kokon missile has not done particularly well either. Only managed to destroy one of the Leopards so far. So over here, another Su-7B going to come in with more bombs. These Drakons unfortunately letting us down quite a lot. And now I'm being pushed on the right side with more Skya Pehota and also those tanks. So I'm going to bring over my Patu Tiger to cut off the APCs and tanks. But we are going to need something to deal with the Morskaya. Fortunately, the Tiger also has these rocket pods, which can be useful as well. But we need to take care of the T-72B1 first. So that's going to be the first port of call. As soon as that's gone, the Tiger can turn its attention to the Morskaya Pehorta and destroy one of the squads. That used up all of its rocket pods, so we're going to be relying now on the Leopard 2A5 and the Macaques from Val to take out the second squad. So, I mean, those guys were definitely making a run that I don't think they were going to ever come back from. The Morskaya just getting caught out in the open. Never a nice place to be for those infantry squads. Now some Pehorta mech coming in, trying to get into the town, but being ruined by the enemy machine guns of the Stuttruppen, and 40 men quickly reduces to none outside of Foxtrot. Now my YPR 765s up here did bump into a couple of squads of VDV, and unfortunately all got destroyed, but we've made such great progress up the map so far that we are currently leading with a +3 lead. So Betts has managed to get in a lot of NM113s to the bottom side of Juliet. The Leopards were finally dealt with in Juliet, but they didn't manage to stop the Leopards from destroying their command vehicle on the left side. So we got this advantage as well, where they can't actually reinforce Juliet properly. So now I've reinforced this right side with a couple of Leopard 2A5 NLs, and I do have the Fuchs Milans there. In the centre, we are being hit pretty hard by artillery. You can see some of my squads are faltering. We are losing men left and right. So as you can see what I was talking about before, you can just like move your infantry line back, and they're going to target the edge of the town so that when they attack it, they can get in there fine. Now at this point, there's not actually much point in them doing that, because maybe they should have done it before they attack with the Pehorta mech, basically. Whereas if you're going to artillery something and then you don't attack, it's almost pointless in a lot of ways. So since we did see infantry be dropped in this town, Val lets me know that that occurred. I'm going to use my Patu Tiger with its reloaded rocket pods to try and take out this Pehorta mech. The Riv 890 and the Zeldas there covering that. Some Freedom Fighters and the CF 104 there coming in from Betts. That book having something to say about it. Is he going to land the second shot? No, he's not. The CF 104 should get out alive. Yes, it does. Okay, so one Morskaya Pehorta standing against 4 squads of Riv 890 and their APCs. Never going to end well for them. Now Leopard 2A5s moving across the open with the support of the Leopard Vikerning and a couple of Luxes on the left side. I'm basically just hunting down the T-72BU at the moment. Looks like an Su-7B with the napalm bombs that's trying to come in and cover off against the Riv 890. Poor little Spetsnaz cruise squad gets found and gets obliterated by the main guns of the Leopard 2A5s. Over here you can see some Rivet have been making their way over the mountain. Going to be discovered by a couple of KHS Mi-24Ps. Not too much to worry about though. I'm just charging my Leopard 2A5s into this tree line. I haven't spotted anything to stop me, although they have just brought over an Mi-24W, and the only thing that I don't have at the moment is anti-air. So I have to still be careful. T-72BU is coming into gun range of my Leopard 2A5s, so I'm going to be engaging that. Do manage to get a nice couple of hits there for 4 damage onto that opposing T-72. Su-25T tries to come in and snipe my Leopards, but loses line of sight on its attack run. And the Mi-24W here is now trying to get line of sight as well for its ATGM. So what I'm going to try and do is shoot that down with these Lux. In the centre, the Riv 8 being cleaned up, and over on this left side, Val managed to get a Pickard into Juliet. So there's a couple of flat SFLs here, which are the Tunguskas, and they are going to absolutely tear to pieces the APCs as they come into Juliet. But we are now reinforcing this. I'm bringing in my own Marder 1s with Panzer Grenadiers, and we're going to try and take care of these flat SFLs and the Granatomet defending the town. So my F4F KWS coming in. That's going to be going for this Su-27PU. My Sec 1 on the right there going to be doing the same. No air engagement happening just yet though. But with us controlling now Juliet, we can bring in reinforcements from Juliet. and maybe start to put pressure on the hotel. It's now MiG-29 going to come in and try and take down one of my F4Fs. What he's going to do is try and evac his MiG-29, which is probably the wrong thing to do. He probably had no reason to actually evac it, and I managed to actually shoot his MiG down when he probably could have killed my F4Fs. Su-24M does come in and land a lovely bombing strike onto Val here to stun the Merkava and panic all of his infantry and so on, allowing the infantry to actually clean up the kill there. But the +3 is still ticking like it has been for a lot of the game. My Lux has managed to actually find the BVP-1K, and my Leopard Vikerning comes over and pops that in one shot, but there must be a second command unit here as Golf is still captured by the opponents. So I've got a Mankati repairing my 2A5, and we're going to prepare for the assault onto the T-72. Now at this point I was very surprised that my opponent had invested so heavily into so many aircraft, as it did allow us to make a lot of ground very quickly in this one. There didn't seem to be much defending the left side. It seemed as though Betts had a pretty free time moving onwards, but I'm going to bring in a couple of Eyehawks, and I managed to do damage to at least one of those MiG-29s. I'm also bringing in the Black Panzer Gepard, and this was on request of Betts, because he's using such a strange deck that he actually doesn't have much AA at his disposal, so I was having to cover for that on that left side. So we are currently ticking down the game soon, and since it was getting very close to the end, I'm going to start moving forwards my tanks. We can now see the UAZ, and that's going to be shot by I think it was this NM over on this right side. Yeah, it's just a little recon tank manages to get the shot onto the UAZ and destroy that. Absolutely fantastic. The Tiger here going to be using its Hot 2 missiles and also the SNEB rocket pods to kill some reinforcing infantry, but after 13 minutes and 47 seconds, well, we win the game. And there we have it. So a very quick one, honestly, but I kind of wanted to use this game as an opportunity to talk through some of the strategies for the map, some interesting like play styles. Just like we used a very unconventional strategy to attack the middle there, and also Betts was using a very strange deck. As you can see, it didn't actually give him too many kills, but there we go. He didn't really bump into much resistance because there was so much in the sky. But either way, there was that interesting sort of talk about the town, where you can put like your infantry on the edge of the town, or you can put them further into the town so that when they bomb the edge of the town, your units are already out of the way. And if you have the recon, you can do that. But otherwise, you probably want to keep them in the edge of the town so that your infantry act as recon at the same time. And then you just have to make sure that you manually dodge your infantry from bombing strikes and artillery. Yeah, a couple other things I mentioned, but either way, guys, I'm sorry this was a short one, and I'm sorry it might have been predictable and maybe a bit of a rollover, but either way, that's all for today. So thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.